All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. It's time for our third and final video on Tory Horton. This is going to be the tape study. Now, I'm going to just say it. This is going to be a short video because Colorado State does not have a lot of their games posted where I can view them. They're not a very big school. They're not a very successful school. And there just hasn't been a big priority placed on putting cut-ups or full games of them where I can view them. So I wasn't able to round up good Colorado State Rams offensive footage. So there's really only one thing I can look at. And to be perfectly honest, I would have preferred something a little bit more than what I got. But we're going to work with it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to make the most of our imperfect situation here. We're going to take a look at one of the best games of his career, Colorado State at Colorado, the Buffaloes, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, a guy he went up against once or twice in this game. Week 3, 2023. So this is the best I can do. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I couldn't find the full game. I found some cut-ups of every catch he made in this game, which doesn't do a great job giving you a whole picture of the game. But there wasn't much else I could do. Like, there are a couple Colorado State games out there, but most of them I found are from last year when he wasn't even playing because he got hurt. So there's not much to work with here, guys. The good news is this is one of the best games he ever had, and he caught so many balls, you still get a lot to work with, even if you're just looking at those plays where he caught a ball. So I watched through this as many times as I needed to, and I'll talk about it. So timestamps are so you guys can follow along. Again, I don't put the clips in the video because I can't get YouTube to take it. I've tried to do it before. They just take the video down. So if you want to follow along, you can use the timestamps. Please like this video if you haven't already. Click the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to support the channel. Let's get going with a 10-40 in the first quarter. Lines up in the slot on the right side. Short slant working against Travis Hunter. Easy first down. The pass is imperfect. It's a little bit low, but he shows his ability to be a great hands catcher, plucking the ball out of the air. Really simple stuff. Just gets open on the short slant. And if you are already not liking the sound of the phrase short slant, this video, I got bad news for you in this video. Get used to that. A little bit later, there's a bubble screen about a minute and a half later, but it's a terrible throw. He has to run backwards a couple yards to get it. He's getting harassed by the defense like 6 yards in the backfield. It's a terrible setup for him. He's got no chance, and somehow he makes a tackler miss and only loses like 2 yards instead of 6. So honestly, it's still a pretty nice play, even though it's a terrible setup for him. 3:31 left in the first quarter. He's lined up tight right. Another shallow slant here. He does a little hop and delays getting into the route. He does this a lot as well, where he'll do like this little like pop up at the snap to delay his route. And I mean, I have to believe it's intentional, of course. That would be very weird if he was doing that accidentally or incorrectly. And it's almost kind of like, it almost kind of works like one of those delayed tight end routes where the tight end stays into block and then leaks out. It allows them to get underneath the defense. And that's what happens here. He gets open underneath and uses his speed to get 12 yards. And this is so much of Colorado State's offense looking back at 2023. Just get the ball to Horton underneath on these short little slants and let him try to run for yards over and over and over again. Next play, he's wide. He lines up wide and motions into a bubble screen. It's a nice setup. This is the one play in this game that I thought he made a mistake on. He had a pretty good setup for a bigger play here, but he ends up not setting up his blockers well, and he ends up getting tackled after 4 yards. So I think this was a missed opportunity for him. Just an example of him, I think, getting a little ahead of himself. Second quarter now, 8:13 left in the second quarter. Shallow slant over the middle, another one. Speed, he uses his speed to turn it into an 8-yard pickup. Minute and a half later, another hesitation into shallow slant. He's mixing up his releases, and it's doing a good job allowing him to shake open underneath his own defense. So he's able to get underneath the defense, and after he gets the catch, he looks like he's going to get tackled for no gain, but he hits a great juke and turns it into a 6-yard pickup. So this is how Colorado State likes to use him. Shallow slant, get him the ball over the middle, let him go do something. They don't have a lot of faith in their quarterback's ability, clearly, so they're just going to make it easy for him. 5 minutes left in the second quarter, they run the exact same play. Hesitation, shallow slant, gives him a yak chance. It puts him, he puts on an open field move to pick up 4. It's almost like they're running the ball with these throws. It's almost like an extended handoff. That's one way I can put this. Because the throws are easy money as long as there's not like perfect zone coverage right there, and or a really, really remarkable man cover rep. So it's almost like an extended handoff. And then with about 2 minutes left in the second quarter, same play. It's an off-target throw, but he makes a good catch and gets 6 yards on a soft zone. Again, a lot of these plays, Colorado just backing off and letting him have it, but he is finding the holes. He is locating the areas where he can get those 6 yards, which for this offense is very important. So it's the same play over and over and over again. And this is part of the thing that I think held Horton back from being a higher graded prospect. This is so much of what Colorado State does. They have him run this same play so much, it cannot help but feel like he's not he's not going to be able to get away with this in the NFL. Going to the second half here, though, we get something different. He lines up wide. This is in plus territory, by the way. He runs downfield. He's actually running to the end zone here. He runs deep downfield, and then he runs back towards the line of scrimmage to help the scrambling quarterback. So it's a play where he sees his quarterback in trouble and runs back to him, and the quarterback throws him the ball along the sideline. He's open, but he's on the run, so it's not a very good throw, and Horton makes an incredible sideline catch, barely dragging his foot in, went way outside his comfort zone to grab it, and was able to just barely drag his foot in. It was initially ruled incomplete before they brought it back. It was the only catch he made in the third quarter, but it was a great one. So that shows you he can do other stuff too. He just doesn't get the chance to do it often enough. It was the kind of play you'd expect to see a Tyler Lockett to make, man. And he also showed amazing hands to secure the catch falling down out of bounds. Good play, man. And then early in the fourth quarter, we get another hesitation slant from a tight alignment. The speed, it allows him to get 16 on yak. So again, you just find the soft hole in the zone. And when you get him the ball, his speed and elusiveness makes him really hard to deal with. 4:26 left. There's a pick play on a third down. It's like 3rd and 2. Colorado State runs a pick play. It doesn't work. He's blanketed, but he makes the catch in tight coverage. It's a very tight window throw. The quarterback does a good job, and he does a good job focusing to bring it in while having a guy on his hip. And it's a big play that probably should have been enough to get Colorado State a victory, but game goes to overtime, and there's a lot that happens in OT. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. There's a lot of action here. If you guys remember this game, you'll know that it went to multiple overtimes, and Tory Horton put on a show. Early in the first overtime, he's got a bubble screen. It's blocked up well. He cuts inside and picks up 9. So good play by him, but good setup by the blocking. A little bit later, another delayed slant. He cuts inside for 7 yards. The outside is very crowded, so he cuts back inside. So good. Again, good vision, good ability to read what's going on and pursue the path of least resistance. A little bit later in that OT session, he runs a short post against man into the end zone for game-tying touchdown. And this was a really nice play to look at, too, because on this play, you can see him pacing his route well, and then he bursts at the exact right second to get open. Like, he's running the post, he's got a guy on his hip, coverage is good, and then at the last second, he just hits the nose and bursts forward open so he can haul it in. Great play. Good stuff. That's the kind of stuff that makes me think he's ready for the NFL. And that was his touchdown for the game, and it tied the game. And then we had some stuff happen in double overtime as well. Second overtime possession, motions into short slant, hits his juke beautifully to pick up about 8. More open field stuff, more creative use of the same play over and over and over again, but throwing slightly different looks at the opposing team so they don't completely get used to it. Very tight to line of scrimmage on this next play, runs an intermediate curl, finds hole in zone, and converts. And that was his final catch of the game. So you do see a little bit of variety as the game goes on, which is why I wanted to talk about this game. But again, I wasn't able to see some of the plays where he didn't make a catch. Maybe it would have been interesting to see some of the things that he did on plays where he didn't get the ball. Maybe you could have learned something from his run blocking, but Colorado State is just, they don't got enough stuff out there for me to work with, guys. Sorry. So that's all I can do. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. For whatever it's worth, this was probably the best game of his career, or close. I know he had like a 230-yard game one time, but it was against Utah Tech or something. So I don't know. This one's tough to beat. All right. Everyone have a great day. Go Hawks. See you guys tomorrow, maybe tonight on Twitch. See you soon.